Hey guys, welcome to the 10 at 10 for November 22nd of 2022. We got some good stuff for you in the lineup today. Really appreciate you tuning in. I'm Matt.
And I'm Tim. And we've got some really good size 1 gallons for you today.
We can't even hide behind these plants. We can't get out in front of them. They're too big. You want to see the plants. You don't really want to see us anyway. So we're back here behind some of this big stuff. And I think we got a killer lineup.
Yeah, I mean, just going down this lineup, there's some really cool plants out here. Some things have sold out. Some really good sizes. I mean, just looking at
start
this,
on that side?
Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and sign up for our weekly emails. Today we're talking about 10 of the 20 trees getting listed today on November 22nd. And this is an amazing plant. This is Acer palmatum rayusin, and these are some killer sizes.
Guys, giant rayusins. I could be sticking these things in threes. We probably should list these as XL 1 gallons. These are excellent sizes. They're out of leaf. We could ship these to you. These are every bit of over 2 feet tall. Great lateral branching, a lot going on here. They're staked up to a good weeping point already. You're familiar with rayusin if you watch our channel, but it's an excellent heat tolerant, weeping, palmatum style Japanese maple. Definitely check out rayusin on the 10 at 10 today. I think these are going to be a very popular item, especially for the size we're bringing.
Yeah, and this is a weeping green palmate leaf, just heavily cascading, one of the most cascading types of any of the Japanese maples. Great for container plants, great for the landscape. These have been staked up to a really great size to really maximize that cascading downward. Really great sizes on those Acer palmatum rayusin.
So next up here on the table, we've got Hanezu Hagoromo. Another fan favorite, bringing them back. Great sizes on these. This is that Acer palmatum Hanezu, sometimes referred to as orange Hagoromo or Hanezu Hagoromo.
Yeah, in the springtime, this thing can really leaf out with some really nice orange colors. It's that sessilifolium type, that angel feather leaf structure. I love this plant because it's so unique, so different. Each of the leaves are so divided back so much they look like individual leaves. And it makes this plant have a unique texture, but the color in the springtime with this thing has some of that bright orange colors in the spring to the orange yellows, really means it's that Katsura type of a sessilifolium type. But it is more of a shrub type. I mean, it does grow shorter and wider than some of the other types like Hagoromo.
Oh, great looking plant. Really cool texture to it. I love what those long feather-like leaves bring. Two of Tim's favorite things, the sessilifolium Hagoromo style foliage and the yellow there. Often leafing out really nice orange. This one's a fun one. They do tend to sell out for us. We've got some really good sizes. As you can see, the ones we're holding are well over 18 inches. So some really nice sized plants. I think you're definitely going to want to add Hanezu Hagoromo to your collection. Now next up here on the table, Acer palmatum bihu.
I was going to see if you could guess, because this bark is just outstanding on these bihu right now. And some killer sizes on these things.
Gosh, these are over 3 feet. I mean, we're going to have a hard time getting these in our boxes.
Yeah, bihu is one of the plants that is one of the most yellow bark varieties of any of the coral bark types.
Yeah, these are already lit up. They're excellent winter interest tree. We list this one as zones 7 through 9. Excellent winter interest, neon yellow in the winter months. Great, when these were in fall color, they were actually a really bright yellow fall color too. So you had that intensity of bark, but also that intensity of foliage. Lush green in the spring. Really nice pairing plant with any of your other coral bark types. Put this near Sirdamen, you'll never be disappointed. The colors are amazing.
Sangukaku is a great one to pair this with as well. Many of y'all may have the typical coral bark Japanese maple where the bark on these are bright yellow. The bark on your coral bark will be more of that coral color. Something like a Baton Rouge can give you an additional fall color where you get a little more red fall color out of the Baton Rouge and more yellow out of the bihu. So you can really play with some fun pairings with some unique winter interests.
People say I can't pick one up without weeding it, so I'll try to quit touching them the whole time.
So next up, we've got Acer palmatum kihachijo.
Yeah, these hadn't quite hit the fall color yet, but these are one of my favorite yellows to golden yellow to oranges in the fall. Acer palmatum kihachijo is a very unique one. I'm told it's one in Japan they love to look through the seedlings of because they have a lot of diversity in the seedlings.
They say that the seedlings can throw dwarfs, lace leaf, variegated types, and more matsumaris. And so that's just super interesting that all that diversity can come out of this leaf. Made me often wonder if it had to do with the bloom time and if it had a longer time that it was receptive to other pollen. But
excellent plant on its own though. I mean, this one just unrivaled in that yellow fall color.
If you have time this morning, go check out our video on kihachijo on our YouTube channel. We've got an amazing video where we go up and show this in fall color at our rental house, which is across from Matt's house. And I mean, just amazing, amazing fall color.
It's definitely a Japanese maple that can rival any ginkgo for fall color. I mean, it is intensely yellow. When it lights up and it's at peak fall color, it is one of my favorite yellow fall plants for sure. So next up, we've got one coming back by popular demand. This is Acer palmatum lily pad.
Yes, that's right. Lily pad's back in stock. I know it's been a year. I know people have been begging for it. It's back in stock. A variegated Makawi Yatabusa.
Awesome sizes on these two guys.
Found at Don Schmidt Nursery as a mutation on Makawi Yatabusa. It's so unique because it actually grows wide and stays short like a lily pad.
Variegated border on each of these. It's a really unique style variegation. Almost puts on these little prawns over top of it, which are cool, but unique that it transformed the shape so much. I mean, this mutation grows wide rather than tall, and it makes a lily pad there in the garden. One of my favorite variegated Makawa forms. It's really funky in its growth. Great fall colors too. As you get into good fall color on these, they can be bright orange to yellow on the same leaf. Just really nice small plant.
The thing I like about lily pad is that leaf is more divided, so it stands out from a lot of other Makawa types. It's almost like Makawa has the same structure. I mean, a very similar structure,
right.
Very similar growth habit, tight internodes, but with almost like a variegated Kamagata leaf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so unique and different in the way this leaf is, and it just makes that tightly layering habit awesome plant.
One of the things I like about it is that it's a variegated Makawi Yatsubusa.
This is true.
Pretty good quality.
You can't beat that. So we've got another Japonicum for you this week, Acer Japonicum Fairy Lights.
Guys, interesting plant. This is an introduction from Australia. Check out our video on cool plants from Australia. Fairy Lights is one from down under. This is a dwarf, truly dwarf form of Japonicum. We like to think of these as the lace leaves of the Japonicum world. They're a small, compact tree, perfect for the fairy garden, perfect for the container garden, but they do excellent in the landscape, and they're no slouch for fall color. You can get neon reds, yellows, and oranges all at the same time on Fairy Lights.
Yeah, Fairy Lights, one of the slowest growers. Like you said, excellent for fairy gardens, but also great container plant. I mean, this plant stays really small, fits in small places very well, and it really lights up your garden. You see these things in fall color right now. I mean, it's just electric. Normally, you know, this plant's going to be a nice green, but the Japonicums just give some of the best fall colors of any of the Japanese maples, and Fairy Lights doesn't disappoint.
So next up here, we've got Acer palmatum Abigail Rose, and some excellent dense varieties of this as well.
Yeah, Abigail Rose is one of those types. It's like a Higashiyama style. It was a selection by Harold Johnson of Auburn, Alabama area down there. And this plant has that Higashiyama type variegation in the early spring with some pinks and whites reticulated in the green, but it's also very heat tolerant.
Yeah, this is an excellent dwarf Higashiyama style variegation. Really nice for container gardening or in the ground. Typically no more than about 6 to 8 feet, even in 20 years in the ground, so it's a true dwarf. Really brings the color. It's a high drama intensity plant, makes a great pairing with so many other Japanese maples for that spring interest. A lot of nice pinks in there as well.
And some killer sizes on those Abigail Rose. So next up, we've got one of people's favorite Shirasawanums, Acer Shirasawanum Jordan. I mean, this tree's been in demand for quite a while. We're just now making this back in stock here on Mr. Maple.
Yeah, it takes a minute to get them back. One of the favorite Shirasawanums we list here at Mr. Maple. This is one from Girardelli Nursery in Italy. Some excellent sizes on these, well over 18 inches. We tell you a lot of times that our 1 gallon uprights are around 18 inches. Guys, these are way bigger than that. I mean, these are every bit of 2.5 feet. Awesome plant. You're gonna love Acer Shirasawanum Jordan. You wanna give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun in most of the areas. This one's gonna work zones 5 through 9. If you give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, you're gonna get even more intense yellows throughout the summer. It'll hold later into the season. When I was dating my wife and she would pull up to my parents' house, she didn't know anything about Japanese maples, but she would say, "What is that neon tree in the garden?" Because even not knowing anything about horticulture, this one always spoke to her. It just elicits that kind of reaction. Why is that thing neon yellow? It is intensely colored, and it gets some good fall colors too, from dark reds to some oranges in it as well.
Now, some of y'all may sometimes see new growth flushes on Jordan that look a little more palmate, and that's because Shirasawanum Jordan and Acer palmatum summer gold are said to be sister seedlings. But the neat thing you'll note about Jordan is as this tree matures, the leaf becomes more and more round like a Shirasalanum.
And larger.
And larger. So it looks more and more like a Shirasalanum aureum, but it's more vigorous, and it's actually a little more heat tolerant than Acer Shirasalanum aureum.
One of my all-time favorite Acer Shirasalanums. You can't miss with Jordan. It's a fun one to be growing. But wait, there's more. So another fan favorite coming back into stock here. We've got Acer palmatum Osakazuki.
Osakazuki is known for having this amazing fall color. And Osakazuki is actually basically like a drinking cup in Japan that's this color.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not from Osaka, as some people may think. It actually has to do with that amazing fall color.
One of the most unparalleled trees for fall color. Osakazuki is a green that gets to kind of a Kelly to dark green midsummer. And what makes it famous is it is unrivaled and probably one of the most premium fall color maples you can grow. Osakazuki is always a very electric yellow. For us, it's one of the most consistent. So you can have some years where fall color doesn't work as well, but it is one of the most consistent, intensely red fall colors.
Yeah, it really gives some really nice red fall colors, and it will often start off a little bit darker, and you'll think that you've missed fall color. And then those dark colors will brighten up to a more intense orange red. I mean, just that bright fire engine red that just captures you. And if you ask most nurserymen, it's one of their favorite Japanese maples for fall color.
I know Steve Bender, when we did the Grumpy Gardener podcast episode, he kept talking about Osakazuki and just everything he loved about it. It's one that tends to be on everybody's top 5 list. I know Jim Putnam had Osakazuki on his top 5. We did a top 5 Japanese maples with Jim Putnam from HortTube, and Osakazuki made that list because, I mean, who wouldn't love this one? It's always crazy for that fall color. It's a great tree throughout any season, but that fall color is really where it shines. Check out our video on Osakazuki in perfect fall color in Dr. Criticos' garden.
That's an amazing plant. Love it to death. And then lastly, well, not really last, we've got 10 more that we're not talking about. That's
so you'll need to sign up for the email to know the full 20 plants. These are just 10 of the 20, but last on today's table,
Acer Pictum Hoshiodori.
Guys, we're bringing back Pictums. There's some really fun ones. Acer Pictum Hoshiodori, always a highly popular plant here at Mr. Maple. A variegated Acer Pictum. You get some swirling variegation in these. They're grafted onto Acer truncatum, so they're very durable plants. These are going to work zones 5 through 9, but they're very heat tolerant plants as well. One of my favorite plants from Japan is the Acer Pictum. The variegated Acer Pictums, they bring it.
And this is one that gives you a yellow on green variegation. I mean, spectacular that what Hoshiodori does. They're not going to last long, so make sure whenever you're adding any of these plants to your cart, you check out fast. Because if you don't, and you hold them in your cart, it doesn't hold them for you until you actually complete the checkout process. Hoshiodori is one of those plants that's just going to rock it out in the garden. It's going to be easy to grow, and since it's on the truncatum rootstock, it's going to perform really well for most people and give you that batwing maple with some yellow variegation.
Now guys, you're watching this one, our Black Friday sales are already live. So definitely take full advantage of that. We have some killer deals going on for Black Friday. We have a ton of plants listed at $20 to $30, some incredibly rare stuff. There's some plants I question whether we should even be selling them that cheap. There's some crazy things on there. Some of these things won't last. They will sell out. So definitely take full advantage of that. We wanted to give back because we've had such a great year. So there's some prices on there. Honestly, I think are crazy. There's a few things we put on there. I'm like, I could sell it at a regular price, but you know, we want to thank you for being customers. Some of my favorite plants, especially outside of maples, there's some steals on maples, but if you get into that rare plant section, there's some crazy deals.
Where else are you going to find a Golden Falls, large Golden Falls 1 gallons for $35?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brand new Ryusin type with yellow color. You don't see that anywhere else. $35.
Yinbi Schwinwei. I mean, that's a steal. I can't even get over that one. That one's one I keep going back to. If they're still in stock at the time you're seeing this, that's a great deal.
And if you've got a huge maple collection, azaleas pair so well with them. Right now, we've got our largest sale ever on azaleas on MrMaple.com. You can go through and start your own azalea collection to plant around your Japanese maples.
Huge selection on there. A lot of our evergreens are at $20. A lot of our deciduous ones are at $25. It's a great time to start an azalea collection. Guys, right now we have a huge hydrangea collection on sale for just $20. These make great doorbuster prizes, but they also make great, you know, pink elephant gifts if you're giving away something at your company Christmas party, or you're looking for something special for someone that's a gardener. I mean, you can't beat 20 bucks for some of these rare plants.
No, you really can't. I think Bloodgood right now is on sale for $25.
Mm-hmm.
Anabashidari is on sale for $25.
Yeah.
Sengukaku, the coral bark Japanese maple, is on sale for $30. I mean, so these deals are unbeatable.
If they're still up when this video airs.
Yeah, if they're still available. And you got to remember, all of our sales are while supplies last. Same with our 10 at 10. They're while supplies last.
So if you're looking for any of these 10 at 10 items, remember, you can ship them in the same box with another item. So our Black Friday sales items ship with these items as well. You can mix and match things from the 10 at 10 with the on sale items. If you get it now, it's definitely going to get shipped out before Christmas unless you ask us to hold. So it's a great time to get that Christmas item and get it in hand for that gardener. And some great sizes on the 10 at 10 today. I think we really brought it with this one. I'm a big fan of those. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. We got a lot of international people in that, and we really appreciate you. We can't ship to you in the international community, but we love you being part of our premieres. There's a whole community that jump in our premieres, and they make it so much fun. I get in there every day just to see what people are doing and catch up with people. And I like to throw some teases in there too. So sometimes I'll say, hey guys, there's a variegated macawa coming soon. Don't wait on those lily pads. That's going to be a popular one today.
This is just such a beautiful day here in Western North Carolina. Look at the fall color behind us. I mean, this is outstanding. It's just awesome to be able to enjoy these plants. And remember, you can enjoy these plants in your garden too. So we appreciate you all watching. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.